Pure perception. Pure perception. That is the topic for today. And it's a little ironic because the last teaching that we did was about renunciation of stress and samsara in the Buddhist context. Pure perception is a later stage practice, a practice that really takes that renunciation and calm abiding that we gain from really recognizing that our stressful patterns are not providing value in our lives. This is the practice that comes further along the path, really, than the foundation practice. So we have to go first through this foundation practice of, yes, our stress, not so helpful, causes others misery, causes us misery, and it causes us really caught up with things that we cannot control. So let us renounce that, really let that be in calm abiding. We have mindfulness practices, we create new habits that then allow us to be open in our vulnerability rather than rejecting it with stressful behaviors. So once we get to a place where that practice is stable, and then in the Mahayana tradition, in Mahayana Buddhism, which Vajrayana Buddhism is a part of, we then cultivate great compassion. We cultivate great compassion as an antidote, actually, to this stress, this suffering that we all experience because we're not in control of our lives and we are worried about comfort and taking care of our bodies and those that we're attached to, all of their needs as well. So by fostering great compassion, by having relative bodhicitta, relative Buddha nature, which is great compassion, and fostering that through various practices, we then start to feel less connected. Maybe the word isn't connected, less attached to ourselves. And then also in a state of selfless mind, really. And that's interested in benefiting others all the time. That's really our focus. So rather than focusing on ourselves and our own concerns, yada, yada, we're then looking outwards about how to help others, right? So this pure perception teaching is a teaching that really fits with this whole paradigm of stress not being helpful and great compassion being a practice that helps release that and also helps us recognize the overall nature of things. Now, pure perception is reliant to a degree. Now, it's reliant to a degree on that nature. Mahayana Buddhists and other religions, you can find pure perception by engaging in these relative practices of understanding our minds, releasing our stress so that we're helping others more, as well as then engaging in great compassion activities and mindsets. That will get us to a place where naturally, through our hearts expanding, our heart love expanding towards all beings through the whole world, naturally we will experience pure perception. And that's really the first way that we can, through the Mahayana vehicle, or through great compassion, if you're not a Buddhist, or if you're another spirituality or of no spirituality, through great compassion, we can also experience this pure perception. And I'll describe how that works so that you can internalize this and you can feel this as well if you're not familiar, which is when we have compassion. If you think about being, for example, a parent or a sibling, a family member of somebody that you really care about. Now, I invite you right now to think about somebody who you really love. Like the person, if there is a person, or maybe even a pet, or another animal, someone that you feel very in love with. Now, it doesn't need to be romantic, but in love in your heart. Whoever that is, bring them to mind, right? As we bring them to mind, we, envision them, visualize them here with us. We start to notice, I feel so warm. I feel so wonderful. They're here. Great. We feel something in our heart. We feel something for them, right? We already know that, of course. Of course we do. Now, what you will notice is if I say, do you have pure perception for that person or individual? Do you have pure perception? Yeah, absolutely. That person is somebody really, really good for you in your mind. That individual makes you feel really like they're totally pure. They can do no wrong. We say this, you can do no wrong because I love you. I love you. Even if they're silly, even if they do weird things that we might not approve of, we still, it's just them. They're a character. We might think, they're so funny. They're so wonderful. We just let it go. It's so easy for us to let it go. And we have pure perception. We can easily have pure perception for those that we love. And that pure perception is so great for those that we love the most that we can, we call it, we even have a colloquial term for it, which is you put rose-colored glasses on, right? You see everything through this frame. Rose-colored glasses. They're so wonderful. What bliss this person or individual is in our lives. That's pure perception right there. We know it. We know how that is. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. So by cultivating this compassion towards everybody, now we start small, and there's various practices like Tonglen meditation, which is giving and receiving. We pull in with an in-breath all of the polluted, negative pain and suffering that everyone experiences. We pull that into ourselves and we send out peace. And we can do that for different people, different populations of people, maybe those that are sick with a certain illness, and then maybe everyone that's in hospitals around, We can do this Tonglen meditation. This really expands our heart in a way that we feel, whoa, the more we practice it, the more compassion we have. We start to see people that we're praying for or we're practicing for as really good, really wonderful, pure entities, pure beings. So we can do that and expand our minds towards everyone. It's not theoretical. It's a journey. It's a path, and this is part of the Mahayana vehicle. This is one way that we can foster great compassion through this particular practice. But there's a myriad of practices like that, and through that great compassion, we will feel like, yes, all of these various beings are perfect just as they are because I love them. I love them. Totally love them just as much as I love this person. Now, most of us are not there yet, right? We don't feel that for every single person. We can see what I just said. Oh yes, that's true. That's reasonable, right? We can practice small and we can see, oh yeah, my love is increasing, and then it will get to a place of vastness and totality that of course I'm going to see every single being as pure. So that's one method. Then there's the other method from the Vajrayana vehicle, specific to Dzogchen and Mahamudra. Uh, but it's not just specific to that, actually, now that I consider it. It's specific to, Vajrayana practices you can do with Guru Yoga, Deity Yoga, so honor yogas as well. And that is when you actually, go through those practices, and I won't go through those too much. But when you go through those practices and you actually recognize directly on the basis of emptiness, on the basis of the natural state of mind, of the nature of things, which, if you're not familiar, the Heart Sutra, what the nature of emptiness that's in the Heart Sutra, for example, but also that a teacher can introduce to you directly, that is within. It is just the context of reality. On the basis of this emptiness, we can see that everything, all phenomena, are in union with this emptiness. When we see that all phenomena are in union with this emptiness, then all phenomena are naturally pure. Whatever we experience is pure instantly because it is entirely unified with emptiness. Put another way, it's entirely transient. There's no phenomena that is not infinitesimally impermanent. It's always moving. You can't even grasp it. The moment's past. There's no moment now, and that's past. So the present is a transient present. And that transient becoming nature of things is illusory like. It's, it means that things are illusory. So its foundation is happening in the experience of mind. And yet it's moving. So movingness is its essential quality. And so its foundation is empty. Empty of meaning. That's, empty of any meaning. It doesn't have any true nature. It doesn't have any true quality that we can say. So when we say things are bad or things are good, that's just attachment. That's not true about anything. And this, then, if we really examine this and we study and we internalize and we meditate, we can see things as pure from that lens. So these two lenses. Now, these practices with Mahayana and Vajrayana are one, the compassion is relative and the emptiness is absolute. These two angles, if you will, can be practiced together. As they're practiced together, we can gain pure perception about phenomena, pure perception about the mind, pure perception about the inner world, the outer world, and the ultimate world as well. So, this pure perception, you might ask, well, what's the point of it? Well, why do I really want to go through all that trouble, right? And it really comes down to that last teaching that we had about stress. If we are caught up in stress, we are creating a damaging situation in our minds, and we're also cultivating damage around in our lives, in those around us. just because we're caught up in stress. Now, the ultimate antidote, really, is when we realize this emptiness, we realize this purity. We also have great love, so we recognize it directly out of love as well. Then what happens is that we never get stressed. This what would cause us stress. Now, we've started the conversation about individuals, people, entities. So it might have crossed your mind that, hey, I can see how this could be useful I would not be stressed out by others if I fostered great compassion, I fostered great wisdom of emptiness. That would be something that would help no longer cause stress. But possibly we need to go through how just other types of phenomena that aren't related to people also would be alleviated as well. So, on a compassionate side, we've touched a little bit about this on the emptiness side of things. So, when all phenomena is transient, it doesn't need to be an entity. It can be, this, for example, this cushion. It's entirely transient. My vision of it, the feeling of it, all the other senses, transient. It's just transient phenomena. So it's founded in empty. It's being experienced by a mind, and that mind doesn't have any quality. So the mind doesn't have any quality, and the phenomena itself is entirely transient to that mind. It's it's each moment is just marching on, like it's changing locations now, up and down, all of that. So there's a lot to emptiness teachings. So I'm going to leave it there for now. So if we start to recognize, okay, so emptiness really, on the basis of this emptiness, we start to realize, all phenomena are pure because they're all in union with that. They're all transient. They're never really becoming fully. They haven't become fully. They're always in a state of becoming. Then, we have this a flavor of, oh yeah, okay, everything's pure. Because even when we start to label things good or bad, impure, for example, it's never actually impure because it's already changed. So if I say, oh, this is pure and this is impure, the thing itself has already changed instantly. And what I just called pure and what I just called impure, also where I'm saying that is just in the mind. The mind itself is the one that's witnessing, observing it, whatever that phenomena is. So on both sides, the transient side and the mind's nature side, me saying pure versus impure collapses. And so I might as well just call it pure or empty. It doesn't have a quality when that qualitylessness is entirely relaxed because it doesn't have any bad quality. There's no badness. There's no goodness. So it's just empty. But emptiness is very peaceful. It's very blissful because it doesn't have any quality. So we can see how on that side, pure perception, on the emptiness side of things, the pure perception is very expansive. Anything, any thought, any feeling, and any experience, external phenomena, like sight, all the sight, hearing, tasting, feeling, and smelling. All of those senses, whatever is experienced through them, is empty itself. So, and that's what the Heart Sutra, for example, discusses. So we can see, oh, okay, that means everything is empty, so everything is pure. So you can really approach it from that lens. But from the compassionate lens, oftentimes unless we're um, yogis with very strong wisdom stability, what can oftentimes happen is that we still, even though we're experiencing things as pure, we don't love them, right? We might, even if we've really, really, really practiced a very uh, expansive type of love for all these entities, maybe we've reached the point of, oh, I love everybody, but I don't love all phenomena, right? I don't love when I, have for example, my leg is falling asleep. I don't love when my leg falls asleep, right? Even though I know it's empty, even though I can be aware of its emptiness from the wisdom side, but from the compassion side, I might not enjoy it. It's still not, it's not being seen as enjoyable. Now, there are various practices for that, and this some of this starts to unify this emptiness. It uses the emptiness as the basis, the true nature that all phenomena is empty, and then we start to then cultivate more compassion and love for it directly. We start to love, for example, not like a human, but we start to actually see that this is permeated by Buddha fields. So right now, this is just a cushion to us normally. And even if I fostered, oh, it's an empty cushion, that can mean now can have a very dull feeling that's dangerous. It actually doesn't really have the full flare of emptiness because I might actually see, oh, this is transient. Oh, this is just happening in my mind. And so it's worthless. I might feel that at some level, or it's dull, or it doesn't have a point. So, like, what is the point of it? We don't have a sense that everything, for example, is interdependent, and that this is interdependent with this teaching, is interdependent with my mind, is interdependent with my speech, is interdependent with your ears, your body, wherever it is, your mind, for example. Everything is interlaced together, including all of these beings that I love. And because of that, all of those pure beings that I love, 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 right? If we just go back to the person we love the most, this is interdependent with them existing. With them existing. When we recognize that, then this can be very important to us. Not from an attachment perspective, but from a reverence perspective. Because without it, they wouldn't exist. I wouldn't exist here. You wouldn't exist there. So then we can start to see, oh, this is not common. This is not dull. This is not boring. Even though it's empty, it's something to be revered. It's vibrant. It's very alive in its own way. Now, not alive in it's not breathing, right? But it's permeated. We know this scientifically. It's actually permeated by beings. I mean, as I'm, holding it, there are millions, probably trillions of little tiny dust mote beings in there, microorganisms. All of those are interdependent too with us. And actually, with our compassion, we can love them. We can love them. But then the material, quote unquote, the appearance of this material essence is interdependent with this, all of the other things that I love, all of the other beings that I love. And it's interdependent with the mind itself. When we start to, and in Vajrayana, when we do our deity yoga practices and we do our guru yoga practices, we start to see that this is all just one mandala. I don't, again, want to go too much into that, but we can begin to see that and foster and cultivate that everything are made of limitless Buddha fields. That everything is just limitless Buddha fields and luminous, approachable. Right? We are still picking everything up. Everything is. It's not a nihilistic void. Emptiness is not a nihilistic void. It's vibrant with interdependent reality, interdependent light, interdependent luminosity. We see that everything that we see, everything that we feel, everything that we sense is in union with all of this love, all of this emptiness. And that love and emptiness are actually unified too. Then we start to see that everything is sacred. Really. Everything is to be revered. Now, if we just come back again, this, until we cultivate more practices and we practice this and we start to really learn how to see it this way, I invite you, if you're not trained on that to date, to really bring and to create a practice of this, to bring your heart to whoever it is that you love the most in the whole world. Now, it can be yourself, because ourselves are what we fixate the most to, and we fixate to it in a very diluted way. So let us find someone outside of ourselves that we love the most. Now, I said that just a second ago. I know there's probably some Buddhist masters that would probably be able to skillfully create a practice in that way of loving yourself. But it's best, I think, I'm not that skillful. So let's instead think of someone outside of ourselves that we love the most. And it can be an animal, it can be any entity that we love the most. Bring that person to your mind. Let's bring out that person or individual to our minds. And then as we bring them to our minds and we really feel, oh, they're so wonderful. They're perfect to us. They're wonderful to us. Let us see that everything in the world, everything around us, we look around maybe, everything has to be so for them to be here with us. For them to, well, one, be in our minds, because we wouldn't have thought of them if everything wasn't just so. But also for them to be wherever they are, doing whatever they're doing. It all has to be just so. It all has to be interdependent. So, look around with fresh eyes. Wow. I am so happy that everything is the way it is. Because if it wasn't, they wouldn't be here. Also, I wouldn't be observing them being here. I wouldn't be observing them as perfect, pure, and I wouldn't be able to observe that everything else is interdependent with them. When we start to cultivate this feeling, we can start to expand it out, right? Because we say, okay, well, that's this one person. That means that everyone is pure, interdependent. Then we can start to reframe things easily. It's so easy now. This thing that I thought was bad 1 second ago, oh, it's so terrible. Then I look at that, I remember the person I love the most, the individual I love the most in the world. I'm like, oh, it's not so bad, that person. Now, there's a danger, a little bit of a danger in this practice. The danger in this practice is that person and I and all of us are impermanent. So, the way that Mahayana has approached this is that we do this with the deity, we do this with the Buddha. When we do this with the Buddha, which is stable, Buddha nature, or even our guru in Vajrayana, doesn't necessarily mean the relative guru, like the person isn't going to, but the empty, pure, luminous guru that's stable in our minds that we can bring to our minds at any time. Then this is actually a very good practice. So even if, for example, I've lost people, you might have as well, people that I've loved very much, and it does leave a terrible feeling of grief. But again, the world, we could also bring our minds, the world needs to be the way it is for that person to have ever existed. And we're happy that they existed. We're happy that we experienced them, that person or individual. This practice can open our hearts to really realize that everything is pure. That it's imbued with love because the things, people, the world, the most beautiful parts of it, the most lovely, heartwarming moments for us, all needed everything to be just like it is to ever become real, to ever become apparent. And so we can use this as a method to cleanse, actually, really. Cleanse things that look very painful. And also to increase our capacity for understanding. Because on the emptiness side, so that's on the compassion side. On the emptiness side, things appearing the way that they are is entirely non-dual with your true nature, the mind's true nature, the observing quality of the mind. You can't separate them. So calling them bad, calling phenomena, whatever's happening bad, is like trying to separate what is inseparable. The observing quality and everything. This transient phenomenon. So these two angles eventually become unified. Passion, emptiness are one. So as you are unified, I think that's a better way to say it than one. They're unified. So as we practice, we might feel like, oh, I can't, this is unlovable, I can't see love. Then we have to rely on wisdom, emptiness. Oh, but it is passing. It's unlovable, but it's already gone. That moment that I thought was unlovable is already gone. So I guess it's not there anymore. It's not really, never really it was there. Right? So we use our wisdom, our inherent practice, our deep mind to choose. We have the freedom to choose which angle. Are we going to go compassionate or are we going to go emptiness, wisdom? As we experience things. Because sometimes our compassion will fall flat. We'll see something that we just can't feel compassion for. That's okay. So then we have to apply our wisdom. And other times, we'll be attached. Really attached. We'll be able to really see the compassion of it. And then, wow, we'll see everything. Oh, it's so wonderful. I have such compassion. But there will be some attachment. Right? And we have to apply our wisdom again to break our attachment. Other times we're caught more in the wisdom and we have to cultivate more compassion. And so that's part of this practice, this twofold practice. Compassion, wisdom, union. Until eventually we see that everything is pure, dancing, the play of Buddha nature, the play of purity. So it's possible. And it just takes us and our cultivation of wisdom and compassion to truly see it that way. And when we do cultivate it and we have trained well in it, we're very relaxed. Because there's nothing but purity. Things that we would have called negative to ourselves no longer seen as negative to a self. It's just as an appearance of empty compassion that's appearing to empty compassion. Purity. Appearing to purity. And in that way, we can abide. We will not be a self, feel like we're selves abiding. We will feel like we are immersed as the play of that compassion and wisdom unified. I hope something in this teaching assists you on your journey of pure perception and also increases your compassion and also your feeling of interdependent awe for what is around you. So that when things are troubling, things that have historically been troubling and challenging, that recognition of the nature of things can entirely pacify that feeling, that negative feeling. So until next time, please be well, and I wish you all the mind of awakening. Thank you.